And I come to you today with a message. It's a little bit of a different message that I feel like some of you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you need to hear this. And I mean, you really need to hear this. So hopefully this is the very least planting a seed inside your mind that will eventually grow and you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about and see the light, period. Now, at 45 years old, which is where I'm at now, I'll be 46 in a couple months. You think differently than you did when you were in your 20s, 30s. About 35 to 38 is when you start thinking a little bit differently. 40, things really start changing. And as you get older, like 40, 45, 35, or, whatever, you start noticing more and more people around you dying. And it's just part of growing older. It's part of getting, up there in years. It's part of life. It's like the circle of life. People that were in your life the whole time suddenly passing away because now they're 70, 80, 90, whatever the case may be, right? So more and more people are passing away. And in your 40s, or me, and I should say me, I shouldn't say in your, because maybe a lot of people don't even understand this, but I'm the question guy. I like to ask questions to everybody about everything. Why does this work like that? How come? Why? And I like to listen to the people that are older, whereas when I was younger, I'd be like, shut up, you stupid old people. Like, I wouldn't listen. I'd be like, whatever, you guys are so stupid, you're old, you don't understand modern times, and you blow it off. But there's a lot of wisdom that comes with those older people. And the one thing that I have learned is the secret of life. I have learned the secret of life by listening to older people. And I don't think many people grasp the concept of the secret of life. They think it's acquiring the most amount of shit that you possibly can in the biggest container, your house, that you can before you die. Have the most amount of numbers on that electronic thing, your bank account. Stack the papers, the money as high as you can. That's what life is all about, right? Some people are all about family, right? Having 20 kids, whatever, traveling. The secret of life is this one thing. Remember in City Slickers, Curly said one thing, right? That one thing is life is meant to be lived. And I mean every single moment. Meaning life is all about filling every single moment with as much as you possibly can. Every second of your life should be filled with something that is part of living. Being with your friends, being with your family, learning something new, going on some kind of trip, starting a business, quitting your job, moving, whatever those adventures are. Life is an adventure, and it's meant to be lived. Life is not meant to be huddled up in your house like many people are right now, scared, watching a fucking TV, wondering if tomorrow they can go outside without a mask, right? Or wondering if there are people right now, seriously, they haven't been out of their fucking house. I know one person that's like, well, I gotta travel soon to see my parents and I don't wanna take any chances, so I'm gonna fucking hermit myself away. Hermit yourself away. You're gonna get on a fucking plane with a bunch of fucking strangers at an airport. So you're gonna huddle yourself away here. Like, think about what you're losing. You're losing your fucking life. And you don't think about it when you're younger. You think that, you have all this time. And
tomorrow doesn't happen. Would you still do what you're about to do today? If the answer is no, you're fucking not living. You're preserving. For what? It's inevitable. An 80-year-old man, healthy, whatever else, that played it safe. You want his life? Or do you want a guy that died 50 years old, that lived a life that's like unreal, like Steve Jobs, fucking gave it his all. Never, just every single day went for it, man. Probably lived hundreds of years in those 50 years compared to somebody who plays it safe.
Get caught up in all the bullshits of life that we forget about just life itself and living. And someone told me once, you should dream like you're never gonna die and live like you're gonna die today. Carpe diem style life is pretty tough, because we take so much for granted. And the moment that arises where you have that momentary lapse of reason, where you think how fortunate you are, is usually too late then.
Remember, Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, did an interview, and it was on the extra part of the DVD of The Crow. And not knowing, of course, Brandon not knowing that he was going to die, was so far ahead of his time, and he posed the question, how many sunsets will you see in your life? How many sunrises will you see in your life? Right? It all seems endless and limitless until it's done, and there's no more. It's over, and it could be over tomorrow, it could be over 10 minutes from now. You could be 10 years old and your life ends, you could be 50 years old and your life ends, you could be 100 years old and your life ends. But if you get to 100, you damn well better have packed as much shit in that time as you possibly could, not sitting in your fucking house being scared. Life is not meant to be sitting around being fearful of every fucking thing outside of your house. Life is not meant to be sitting in your fucking house. Life is meant to go out there in the fucking world and live. And you want to talk about regrets? Wait till you're on your fucking deathbed and you realize you wasted 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 years or whatever being scared to do something that you want to do, right? That you didn't do because you were scared. And you realize there was nothing but your fear holding you back, because you would have had this amazing chapter in your life. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. I've always been one to take chances. I've always been one to throw caution to the wind and try something that fucking maybe it might not work out. It might, but I'm going to give it hell. I'm going to give it a shot. And I have a ton of fucking great stories to go along with it. I tell my wife all the time, if I die tomorrow, I'm completely fine with that, because I have had this amazing life that I have lived out there in the world. I've met so many people. I've gone so many places. I've done so many fucking random crazy things because I've tried to live my life as packed as I possibly can every fucking moment. And that is the secret to life. That is the key to life. Living. You could be alive, but just because you're alive doesn't mean you're living. Once you learn the difference and you learn those concepts, like a switch goes off. And that's when you really, really start living. So guys, go out there today. Don't be fucking scared. Don't sit around and say, I got time.
There's a lot of different ways of death, but it's a multiplier, guys. Let's first talk about the fact that you can't control it. If we're gonna break this fear of death up, the first thing you have to understand is that you can't control it. Get your ego out of the equation. You cannot control this. Death is inevitable. It's above you. Stop trying to control it. Just like in your life, you have dreams and you have fears. Which one are you giving the most time to? Which day at 5:15 when you wake up, which one are you living? Your fears or your dreams? You're living one or the other, and if you're really honest, you're probably giving too much of your attention to your fears. The preservation of the inevitable. You can't control it. Release it. Release it. You can't control it. And when you can't control it and you release that, it allows you the time and the clarity to put the effort into what you can control, which is making most of the time we have right the fuck now. I don't care how much time I have. I can die today. Today I can die. I'm okay with it. It's 5:15 in the morning. I got a day. I'm excited about it. If it doesn't come tomorrow, I'm okay with it. Because I've done everything I can up to now. I've turned every stone. I've made mistakes, but I gave my balanced effort each time. That's all I can do. I was the best I could be at the moment. Do I want more time? Sure. Sure I want more time. I want to do a lot of other things in life. But if I'm not granted them, I'm okay, because I've done everything I can with the life I've had. It's not about more. It's not about the quantity. It's the quality. It's like in the gym, guys, when you're lifting reps and stuff. It's not the reps you do that count. It's making every fucking rep count that matters. Every day count in your life that matters for a life fulfilled. It's a carpe diem that's very hard to live, but it must be that way. Why does death scare you? Because you get one chance. It's the only thing I know besides birth that you only get one chance to do in your life. One opportunity. There's nothing else you get to do only once. Death. So do it right. You do it right by living a life to the fullest. Then when death comes, you've done it all. You're okay with it. It's only fearful if you still haven't done what you want to do. And time's up. Or you didn't say you're sorry. Or let that person know what you mean. And time's up on their life. And you can sit here and regret. Lesson learned. Reapplied. Failure. We fail. Learn from it. Next time we're stronger for it. So you don't make that mistake again to someone else you love. You learn from that experience, multiplying your life that you have right now. Yes, death's gone in one aspect, but now alive in other aspects. What scares you about death is that you're not ready for it because you haven't done the fucking work yet. Haven't paid your dues, haven't become the person you want to be. What the fuck are you waiting for?
Fear is not what living life is about. Fear is not living. Fear is a prison cell. It keeps you locked inside your fucking head. It keeps you locked inside your emotions, and it keeps you from living.
Right now, I'm okay to die. It's not about checking all the boxes and being a grandfather and doing all, it's not about that. Because that's a luxury. You don't have that right to live that long. All you have is today. That's all you got. Do you make the most of today? Do you make today remembered?
I think one of the most important things that Jerry has taught us over the years is you gotta live your life. You know, you can't, think the worst, and you can't always plan for things. You just don't know what's gonna happen. You have to just follow your own truth, and you have to be who you are, and you have to stand by it, and you have to stand up for yourself. And I hope that even though his death is sudden and he is only 46, and God forbid that happens to anybody, but I think he taught us so much about who we could be and our potential. And I think that he would want his legacy to be just to remind you, do your research, listen to your body, follow your own path. Don't worry about what other people want you to do. And, be feisty about it if you have to be. Remember all of the good things, you didn't always have to agree with Jerry, but you had to appreciate the fact that he was so passionate about what he believed in and who he was and what he had been through, and he was never embarrassed about his story. He owned it, and I think that we've all learned a lot from it. So take care. I won't do a bicep for you because no one wants to see that. And just keep living your life. And you never know. Nothing is promised. Just keep living and be you.
You always think that you have all the time in the world. Everybody's going to live forever. You don't really think about it much, especially the younger guys. Shit happens, and just like that, it's over. So, if there's any take home, from Greg and this whole situation, it would be do what he did as far as living your life to the edge. He had so many projects going on, traveling, doing all the stuff that he did, living his life in his own terms, accomplish all his goals, was setting more goals and heading towards those, and the fact that it can be cut short by a stupid, tragic accident that, you just never know when that's going to happen. But let's face facts. Tomorrow, if you were gone, who would care? Who would notice? That's my question to you. Who would notice if you were gone tomorrow? How many people's lives have you affected in a positive way so that when you're gone, you have a legacy left behind?
Just to be able to do what we do every day, whatever it is we're doing, is a blessing. To be able to make a change if we don't like what we're doing. To be able to pick it up a notch. To be able to lend a hand. To help somebody achieve their dreams, their goals. Put a smile on one's face. Tears of joy and laughter that fills the heart, and to make a moment a memory. so precious. And what I found out on Sunday, 5 days ago, that it's so delicate too. I'm fragile. What we have, the intake and outtake of life every day and every minute, can change in that minute. We never know how much time's left on the countdown. And we forget about the clock. And we live like there's always another day. The sun will always rise. I'm sure it will. But the sun's not down yet, you know? There's still time to do something. Make a difference in your life or someone else's.
BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is a blog. It's the inspiration bicep, and we're out.